I want to take you back to a time when quarterbacks were drafted in the top 10, maybe even first overall. That's right, we're going back in the DeLorean. We're switching that year to 2021. We're taking a look at the 2021 NFL draft. This is a redraft. Oh yeah, if you want regrades, I already did that. I did that a few days ago, where we take a look back, just not back at my old grades, but give new grades to the draft class. And we're going to do that next week for 2020. Best your sweet cheeks. And we're going to do that through the summer until football starts back up again. Along with some deep dives and season predictions and maybe some other college football content as well in there. But yeah, what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Bro Schmo, just in case you did not know. So I almost forgot the intro. But go ahead, leave this video a thumbs up if you enjoy the content as always. Let me know what you think in the comment section below. I love having that nice, beautiful football discourse. Let's go ahead. Let's take a look at this, because I feel like the first few picks are actually pretty easy. I'm going Trevor Lawrence. You might be like, he wasn't even the best rookie quarterback. And I'll be like, hey, yo. He's like one of the best quarterback prospects we've seen, at least in some time. Let the man breathe. Maybe when we revisit this again next year, things will have changed. Likewise, I think the same's true with Zach Wilson right now. And not in terms of him being one of the best quarterback prospects we've ever seen, but he was definitely probably, I think there's an argument to be made, because my quarterback 2 is a bit different now that looking back at it. But I could see why a lot of teams like the upside. And I think based at least on the rookie season, Zach Wilson is more encouraging than who I'm going to take here at 3. You might be like, Kyle Shanahan, you're giving him Mac Jones. Hell no. I loved Justin Fields, dude, through the whole draft process. People got their panties in a bunch over Justin Fields. I don't know why, man. I mean, I do understand, like, oh, he's so conservative, and oh my gosh, la-di-da. Like, the dude was a phenomenal prospect. Plus mobility, throws one hell of a ball, and he could zip it to the sideline. I like Justin Fields, and I think I'd like him better than Trey Lance, who at this point we look at maybe is more of a project than maybe he actually was, or at least how we thought of him initially when this was all going down. It sounds like, again, these are rumors. Take it with a grain of salt. That maybe the Niner coaching staff, they don't think he's as far along as he should be. It, at this point, is what it is. It's a redraft. We're doing things a little bit different. And speaking of doing things a little bit different, Kyle Pitts is a hell of a prospect. But getting a tight end at 4 right now, it just kind of seemed like, man, you had bigger problems than that. You could have addressed maybe that right tackle spot, because Sewell and freaking Slater are phenomenal. But you know what? Let Caleb McGarry have his year. I think you go Jamar Chase, especially now in hindsight, knowing maybe what's perhaps might go down with Calvin Ridley, and just seeing how depleted that wide receiving core is. Jamar Chase for me was kind of a no-brainer at this pick, which actually now it's like, oh man, you can't pair Joe Burrow up with his best friend. Yeah, let's go ahead and address the offensive line, and I'm gonna stick with Penei Sewell. You could take Rashawn Slater here. I think that's fine. I think if you're gonna argue that he had a better year than Sewell, I'm not gonna argue that. That's fair, but I think Sewell was probably the better prospect. It's real close. It's kind of like 1A, 1B at this standpoint. So you must be like, because if you know if y'all don't know, I'm a Dolphins fan, and if you do know, you know I complain about how the Dolphins should have addressed their offensive line the whole dang time. And right here, Rashawn Slater, this is it. This is the opportunity I get to address the offensive line for the Dolphins. And I'm still going to take Jalen Waddle. Dude, he was just so good for the squad. Just getting a receiver like that. And I just don't think we're going to have that available to us, because the Dolphins do pick again at 18. By the way, this draft order was what it was going into draft night day 1. So with all the trades and whatnot that happened during the draft, they don't count in this, all right? So there we have it. There's our top 6. Detroit Lions, you might be like, oh, go ahead, get Rashawn Slater, man. And it's like, to be fair, even when they picked Sewell, kind of wasn't the biggest need on the roster. Kind of wasn't. Can make a case for Devontae Smith. I'm kind of cool with not going receiver and actually going with the defense. Take Micah Parsons. He, for all intents and purposes, is the best defensive player in this class. And I know, listen, they were paying Big V all that money to play right tackle. I'm just keep him there at right tackle, okay? You paying him all that money, just keep him there. They actually had some good depth along the offensive line as well, so yeah. Now we're here with the Carolina Panthers, and they took J.C. Horn here. Unfortunately, he got hurt during his rookie year, but I'm going to use this to actually upgrade the offensive line. I'm going to take Rashawn Slater, because you could argue that, oh, it's a significant drop-off after Slater. I don't think Christian Darrisaw is too far removed for me not to take him. Maybe within the next few picks. But he is a tier below Slater and Sewell. So now we got that left tackle issue all resolved. And maybe they could grab their quarterback in the 2022 draft. All right. Denver Broncos. This one's going to be a little bit weird. Like Patrick Surtain, I think that's all fine and dandy. And again, this is also pre-Russell Wilson. So it's kind of weird. And if I'm making this pick, I think I'd rather go with a quarterback prospect like they should have. They should have got Justin Fields. I'm straight up. Panthers should have got Justin Fields. And I'm actually going to take Mac Jones. Like, get a guy that just keeps the ball safe, that could efficiently run my offense. I have a good offensive line. I have great playmakers. And they got Melvin Gordon. Maybe we could snag a running back there in the second round if you really want to. Or we could just grab him day 3. But yeah, just go ahead and solve the quarterback issue right now without having to give away a whole lot of players and draft picks. And then the Dallas Cowboys. I'm actually going to jump on the cornerback bandwagon right now. And I'm going to go with Patrick Surtain. Him and Trevon Diggs, they get to reunite, and I feel like that just solves the cornerback problem there in Dallas. Like, Micah Parsons would have been nice here. Obviously, not on the board. Can't do anything about it. Kind of is what it is, but I think grabbing a corner here really does help, because Diggs, for as big of a ball hawk playmaker he is, does give up significant yards. Having that shutdown threat on the other side, I think, would just help a ton. And then the New York Giants. Listen, this is actually kind of weird. This was Kadarius Toney, and I'm not gonna lie to y'all, Kadarius Toney was not even a thought here. Who would have thought? But they really need to improve that offensive line. For me, it's a bit early to go interior, but Christian Darrisaw, I feel like there is a significant drop off right now, because Tevin Jenkins, we saw him fall to the second round, and then he just didn't really play this year, so kind of the jury's out on him. Samuel Cosmi actually played really good at right tackle, but got hurt, so he's probably going to start that next tier of tackles. But outside of that, you ain't looking at a lot of pretty. You just ain't. So I'm going to go with Christian Darrisaw, try to improve that offensive line. See maybe if that gives Mr. DJ Daniel Jones a little bit of a chance in 2021. All right, we're here with the Eagles, and you know what? I'd be hard-pressed not to give him Devontae Smith again. He kind of is the best player on the board. So we're gonna do that. We're gonna just give them Smith again. And the Chargers, would have been nice if at least Darrisaw would have fell here. That would have been real great. But if you remember, this is the offseason they started really making additions to the offensive line, and Filer, Lindsay. So yeah, grabbing a tackle would be great, but I don't think that's something we can do here. Because again, we're not doing trades either. I'm not gonna make this tougher than it already is. But I am gonna go with, if I can't improve the offensive line for Justin Herbert, I can at least give him more weapons. So this is where I'm going to go take Kyle Pitts. Get them a legitimate tight end at or a legitimate weapon at the tight end spot. All right, Minnesota Vikings, straight up. This is where things get weird. And I'm going to tell y'all right now. Mike Zimmer, still there, not fired. And maybe if he was going to show, hey, I want to move this organization in a different way. I want to maybe move away from currently the spell Kirk Cousins has on us. So let's grab our developmental quarterback with high upside. Maybe buy Zimmer another year in Trey Lance. Wild. I know. This is, I told you, like, things got, like, for me, when I was putting this all together, this is when the draft got real crazy. I was like, I can't believe I just took Trey Lance to Minnesota, but I absolutely would. Because then he just sits behind Kirk Cousins that has the year that he has. Obviously, they got Darrisaw, but I mean, he's already off the board. And I feel like at this point, man, getting a quarterback is too good of an option. So overall, we are looking vastly different. But the quarterbacks are now all off the board. Poor New England Patriots. You're going to have to go with Brian Hoyer or Cam Newton at quarterback. That sucks. Is what it is, though. But I think it's time you address corners, since at this point, they don't know Stephon Gilmore is someone they're going to move on from. But they do eventually move on from him. So it'd be nice if they had more options at corner, especially if they're not going to re-sign J.C. Jackson. So I went with Greg Newsome. He had a hell of a year last year. And I mean, for some people, it was arguably cornerback 3. Some people had him as cornerback 2. Though a lot of people liked Surtain and Horn. And just Horn going down, we didn't get a lot to see of him. So he will go eventually, but he will not go at 15. But he will go at 16. I'm going to take J.C. Horn. Dude, the Cardinals, man, they're secondary. They're not even their secondary. Their cornerback position. It needs so much talent, so much help. They brought back Robert Alford, who just can't stay healthy. Marco Wilson ends up being one of their starters on the outside for a large part of the year. Like, no. J.C. Horn. Let's do it. All right, the Las Vegas Raiders. I don't think they were wrong to address the offensive line. I just think Alex Leatherwood was the wrong pick. But I'm going to go with my next guy up here. You could say Cosme, Jenkins. Those are thoughts. But I'm going to go with Elijah Vera Tucker. He had a rocky first 4 games, but really put together a hell of a year after that. So we grab him there to be our left guard of the future. All right, now I'm back to my Miami Dolphins. And you know what? It's so weird because their first 3 picks I thought were pretty good. And would have been, I'm not going to lie, it would have been nice to grab an offensive line here, but kind of is what it is. And I kind of want to keep doing what the Dolphins did, except for instead of Jalen Phillips, I'm going to take Javon Holland because he looks like he can maybe be top 5 at the position. So I just want to ensure, hey, we got Waddle, we got Holland. Cool. Next year's a wash. But at least they got some playmakers there. That really sucks. This made the Washington pick really hard for me because I would have loved if Holland was here. For deep safety is one of their biggest needs. And I think it might be a little tad too early for Trevon Merrick. But instead, I'm going to go with getting a running mate for Scary Terry McLaurin in Rashad Bateman. Pair him up. You got Curtis Samuel in the slot. Now you got legit receivers. Let's see what Heineke could do. I'm not gonna lie to y'all. It was at this point where I was like, do I give Davis Mills a shot? And just to kind of break the fourth wall here, no, I don't give Davis Mills a shot. I ended up not drafting him in the first round, but I definitely thought about it. Maybe we come back to this next year and we're talking about Davis Mills as a first rounder. Maybe. But not this year. So yeah, this one was a real tough pick for the Bears. They did such a good job with Justin Fields. At least getting him at that value. Does he work out? I don't know. We'll find out. But yeah, it would have been nice if Bateman was here. He is not. And at that point, it's like, man, where do I go? I could go corner, I thought. Because we're looking at Farley. Oh, great injuries. I don't want to do that. Asante Samuel, he really had an up and down year. He is undersized. There are those concerns. Eric Stokes, he got better down the line. But I ended up deciding to go with probably the best defensive prospect, I would say, available at a position of need, being Christian Barmore. Christian Barmore had a fabulous year. Like outside, like we're not thinking about any of these other interior prospects anywhere close to the first round. I don't even know if we think about any of these guys in the second round. Like maybe a Lee McNeil, maybe Levi Wuzarike, but that's about it. But Christian Barmore is fabulous. Akeem Hicks is going to be well on his way out of town by the end of the year, but again, he ends up getting, I think he gets hurt, and then Nagy does some funky stuff where it's like, okay, you're not the captain. You're I don't know. It got weird in Chicago, but we grab Christian Barmore. We know the dude's gonna be solid. Should have been in the first round anyway. All right. I like what the Colts did. They got a good player here. They went with Kwity Paye, and if you're okay with taking Kwity Paye here, that's fine. But I'm actually gonna lean with, I would argue, Jason Owe or Odafe Owe had the better year. He had the most pressures of any of the rookies at edge. I think there's a lot of promises. Dude's get offs ridiculous. Tennessee Titans, man, this was tough. What I ended up doing was, and I talked about this too when it came to the Titans this year in the draft. It was like, you know what? When it comes to the Titans, you can't play yourself. Derrick Henry is the engine of your offense. You got to make sure that then if he is the engine, then everything from the hood to the body is looking good, is looking spiffy. That means the offensive line needs to be on point. Taylor Lewan has a rough game one. Nate Davis, for the most part, he's still a really good run blocker. Where he struggled last year was, I think, a pass protector. They got Ben Brown. They have Roger Saffold, at least for this next year. So if I was gonna snag somebody that had could play tackle and guard, I don't think there was really that, but there kind of was. I'm gonna go with, this is where I take Samuel Cosmi. He had a really good year at right tackle, so you could play there or not. Maybe injuries, you play him at left. That's where he played in college. Because we know Lewan ends up going down, but Samuel Cosmi, he's going to be our right tackle of the future. Maybe he starts ahead of Quisenberry. All right, we're actually going to keep this trend of offensive linemen because I'm sure the Jets would have loved if Elijah Vera Tucker was here. He was not, but we're going to go ahead and make Trey Smith a first rounder. I did think about Creed Humphrey, but where they really struggled was guard and not center. McGovern was actually pretty good. They might not bring him back after his contract ends, and I think it ends this season, but he's still a top 15 center in the league. This was the Naji Harris pick. I'm not doing that. You saw Naji Harris, how often he got hit in the backfield. You got to make sure the offensive line is just spick and span. And you know what? Let's go ahead and get the best center, arguably a top 5 center this past season, in Creed Humphrey. There we go. Creed Humphrey going to the Pittsburgh Steelers. All right, Jacksonville Jaguars. I mean, this team's so bereft of talent. I just want to take the best players available. Clavon Chason, I don't believe in him. I'm gonna go with Jalen Phillips. He had 10 sacks this past season. So pairing him up with Josh Allen, yes please. All right, so sucks. No, who was it? Greg Newsome here. But that doesn't mean we can't. The Browns can't grab somebody that really played well for him last year. We're gonna go with JOK Jeremiah Owusu Koromora. JOK, baby. JOK. Everything's gonna be a JOK. I don't know if that's a good thing. The Baltimore Ravens. Man, sucks, man. No Jason Owe. Oh well. Kwity Paye, still a solid choice, man. Great size. Tested out great. And played pretty darn well this past year too. So not too bad, not too bad. I don't feel too bad for missing out on Owe. We got Kwity Paye. Still got one more pick if we're the Baltimore Ravens. The New Orleans Saints. This team has no weapons. We need weapons for them. You know what? Elijah Moore, big criticism of him was, can he play on the outside? And he did it well there for the Jets before getting hurt. So we're going to go ahead and grab a guy that can play on the outside, play in the slot, be a good number 2 to Michael Thomas. There we go. The Green Bay Packers are the next team up here. And we talk about how they never give Aaron Rodgers weapons. Well, this is me drafting for him. Dang it, I'm going to do it. And Amon-Ra St. Brown, he fits, at least he hits their size thresholds for guys who they like to play on the outside. And actually, he probably works better in the slot, but he can play on the outside. Had 900 receiving yards this past season for the Detroit Lions. And I'm sure, hey, they got brotherly love. I think they're brothers, right? The St. Brown brothers, I guess. I have a bad knack of looking at similar last names and be like, oh, they must be family. All right, this one was a bit interesting. I'm not gonna lie to y'all, I had a tough time with the Buffalo Bills, really thinking where to go. And at the end of the day, I was like, you know what? I think they just got it right with Gregory Rousseau. He had a really good year for the Buffalo Bills, so we stuck with that. All right, now we're here. And honestly, I don't want to take a receiver if I'm the Ravens. Be nice, but there's no one really tickling my fancy that would be worth a first rounder. Let's scroll down here. Let's just make sure. Oh yeah, we know we can't. We know how great Tamari and Terry is, but we can't take him. You do be killing it though. Let's see. You know what? The Ravens love safeties. They got banged up last year, really at every position. Kind of forced Brandon Stevens to come into the role a lot earlier than he probably should have, because if you remember, he was like a former corner. I'm going to go ahead and take Trevon Merrick. It just feels like a Ravens pick there. I feel like he'd be a good fit for them. They don't re-sign Deshaun Elliott after he was hurt this past year. So pair it up. What are Merrick with Chuck Clark? There we go. I think would be pretty darn nice. All right, last but not least, you know what? I'm doing this for the Bucks. I'm gonna do this for the Bucks. Do not re-sign Leonard Fournette. They re-signed what, 3 years, $20 million? He ain't worth it. Just grab a running back on a rookie contract, Naji Harris. He does a little bit of everything for you. So let's let's save it. Let's take a look at it. Let me know how you think I did. Oh, who are you, sir? Anyway, I thought honestly, I thought this was super interesting. Like, things got, for me, very intriguing. Like the Mac Jones pick, I was like, man, that's going to be a spicy one. And then I ended up taking Trey Lance to the Vikings, and I was like, okay, yeah, this is kind of nuts. This is crazy. But like, the Dolphins, I was like, because I'm not going to lie. I was like, man, I really hope offensive line gets back to me. But I was like, you know what? Javon Holland was just so freaking good, man. Just bring him back. Bateman, Christian Barmore, he was one. I was like, man, he's a first rounder. I don't know where he fits into here, but he will. Yeah, you just let me know what you think in the comment section below. That's it for the video. Go ahead, do the YouTube thing. And as always, until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.